Hello, everybody, and thank you so much for listening in and tuning in to our 4 Healthy Habits webinar. You're going to hear from myself. My name is Brittany Wright, and I'm just going to share with you how implementing 4 healthy habits into my life daily over the last 5 years has helped me get into my best shape, both physically, spiritually, mentally, and just be able to build a community of strong women around me that's really transformed my life. I'm going to try and keep my story within like 15 minutes, and then you're going to hear from one of my awesome coaches, Heather, on how implementing these same 4 habits and daily practices has also helped her life and how her life has changed by implementing these as well. So first and foremost, I am a mom. I have 3 kids, and I am 35 and a half weeks pregnant with number 4. My twins are 5, and Hayden is 18 months, and I'm due April 5th. I started coaching when my twins were about 4 months old. It'll be 5 years at the end of this month that I've been coaching. And when I first started out coaching, I really wasn't sure what it was going to be, what it was going to bring into my life, what I wanted from it, what was required of me, or any of that. But I knew that I needed something. I had just become a new mom. I had gained 80 pounds during my pregnancy with the twins. And then not only that, but I was leaving a full-time job and now becoming a stay-at-home mom. So my routine was changed. My adult interaction was now limited, and I was within these 4 walls with these 2 tiny little humans that I was now responsible for, and they don't come with a manual. And on top of that, when you become a new mom, you just have all of these, other things that you also have to worry about, and you kind of lose yourself a little bit. And I wanted to find something that would be able to help me be my best self, first and foremost with my health. I was more focused on my physical journey the first 2 years of my coaching journey and transformation with Beachbody. But over the last 5 years, I've realized that it's really been 4 habits that I've done daily that has helped me become the strong, confident woman you see today. Because 5 years ago, I was not getting on a webinar to share my story. I was not in any way, shape, or form going to post a picture of my pregnant belly on social media, but I'm confident in that today, and I have a reason and a mission and a purpose as to why I do what I do. So the first habit that I started implementing was my workouts. I started working out daily, 30 to 45 minutes a day, even sometimes an hour. I was training for a marathon or half marathon, but I started just taking care of myself physically. And a lot of people think that if you are tired or you're already overwhelmed with all the other stuff, how can you add one more thing on your plate? It was actually the opposite. By fitting in my workout, I had less anxiety. I felt less stressed. I had some time for me. I had a time during the day for me to not focus on laundry or bottles or pumping or cleaning a house or anything like that, but I focused on me. And if you are used to working out, you know that some good, happy endorphins come after that workout, and you just feel better. You feel accomplished. You feel proud of yourself. And that eventually led into me taking care of my nutrition. And I'll keep this short and sweet, but I suffered from eating disorders. I had body image issues from I would punish myself for what I ate by running miles and miles, and I was very careful about what I ate and wouldn't eat. And so it finally came, the twins were about 13 months, and I finally decided, you know what, I need to do something different because I don't feel how I think I should feel with all this working out. So I started to take a look at my nutrition, and I simply invested some time and money into a portion control program that told me what to eat, when to eat, how much to eat, and how often to eat. And I followed that program and quickly realized that my nutrition was a whole lot of carbs, a little bit of protein, and like 0 vegetables and a lot of fruit. So I was eating a very high carb diet, and I just wasn't getting the nutrients that my body needed from vegetables and just a balanced diet. So changing that, I was a little nervous. restricting myself to certain foods, but I quickly found that through that nutrition plan, I wasn't limiting my food choices. I was just eating proper portions of them, and I was eating a more variety of foods instead of going towards carbs and protein and fruit, right? So my palate has grown, which my husband truly appreciates, and I found myself cooking in the kitchen and trying new recipes and using this program to broaden not only now my horizons, but my kids. And my husband's happy because he has a more diverse palate for dinner. And it's really just helped me be more confident and learn what nutrition is really about and what it is supposed to be seen as fuel instead of just rewarding myself or punishing myself because I ate it. So that was the first thing that I started to do, was taking care of myself with health and fitness and nutrition. The second thing that I started to do was personal development. And I remember when my mentor, Meg, first asked me to start reading a book, I was like, I don't have time to read. I'm a mom. I got kids. I'm going to fall asleep. Like, I don't want to read a self-help book. But that's not what I was meant. Like, that's not what I was reading for. Like, I was reading to just become a better person, to learn more about myself, what my strengths were, what my weaknesses were, what my purpose could be, just unveiling things about myself that I didn't know. And the cool thing about personal development is that it doesn't have to be one thing. It doesn't have to be a self-help book per se, but growing your leadership skills, diving into your devotions, diving into some quiet time, diving into, personal positive affirmations and setting goals for yourself. And if you're a business person or you're a finance person, like, how can you be better? How can you excel at that craft? How can you evolve the talents that you already have? And as I dove further and further and further into personal development and made this more of a priority in my life began to completely shift. It was 2015, and I read a book called The Miracle Morning. And if you've never heard of that book, you can go to Google and you will see so many different variations of this book. There's books for network marketers, for parents, for realtors, for whatever the case may be. There's a whole Miracle Morning for you, fill in the blank. But I started doing this book, and it gives you 7 simple habits to do that I still practice most of them daily now. And through this, it required me to sit and be quiet, to sit and hear my thoughts and to hear what God was asking me to do and where he was leading me. It required me to sit down and pray and visualize what I wanted out of my life. It allowed me and encouraged me to sit down and do affirmations about my life and to take negative things that I would say about my body or parenthood or my business or whatever was going on in my life. It made me take it from a negative perspective and turn it into a positive perspective. And that's a powerful, powerful thing when you start to apply that. And it was through those affirmations and through this Miracle Morning that I really felt God calling me that I was not done having kids. And enter Hayden. So Hayden is now a part of our family. And I know for some of you that might seem a little weird, but I really attribute the habit of personal development and setting aside that quiet time to set goals for yourself, to think about what you want for your life and are you happy with where you're at. And if you're not, taking some time in not looking at books as self-help books, but as resources to find out more about you and your purpose and what you're supposed to be. And that's what personal development did for me. And that is something that my business asks me to do every day. And I heard this quote today, and I absolutely loved it in one of the podcasts that I was listening to. And it was, network marketing is basically a growth plan for personal development with a compensation plan. And I could not have described it better myself, because that's really how I feel. My business is a direct reflection of how much I'm willing to grow and share and be out there to help other people, which brings me to habit number 3, which was just sharing my journey. And I know that sounds scary, and it was for me at first too, but I have found so much power and joy and fulfillment by sharing my story through postpartum twins to, what I just shared with you and building an amazing business in 2015, and also going through a really hard spiritual time with God telling me you're having more kids, and I did not want more kids at that time. But through personal development and surrounding myself and sharing that journey really solidified it and helped me work through it in a good, healthy way. And now, going through it pregnancy and postpartum again in this pregnancy, I have built such an awesome community of women on my coaching team and my challenge groups. I have free support groups for mom. I just launched my free group for motherhood and tying that with devotions and how that affects our walk as parents. But just sharing my journey to help more moms, to help more women go from lacking their confidence or nitpicking on themselves to finding their confidence and finding their worth and their value, and finding the time to work out and put themselves first for a little bit has been an amazing experience. And it's something that I get to do daily. I don't share my workout every day just to get a high five from somebody. I share every day so that if there's a mom sitting on the couch with a tired baby, I get it. I'm there. I know, but I also know how good you're going to feel if you get up and do that workout. And so I want to share that journey with you and take you on that and share this opportunity with you of coaching and starting your own business and being part of a community, which is number 4 habit that I started implementing. And it was just becoming part of a community. As I stated earlier, I left a full-time job and became a stay-at-home mom. And I left all adult interaction. I left my fitness community. I was a health and fitness professional at a corporate company. I taught classes and I was a personal trainer. And I absolutely loved what I did, but financially it just made a lot more sense for me to stay home with my kids. And thankfully my husband's job allowed us to do that. But I missed community. I missed adult interaction. I missed people. And so being involved with this company and starting a team and just even jumping into the challenge groups allowed me to have people to connect with every day, people who were going through a similar journey that I was, whether that was my weight loss journey or my nursing journey for the kids, nursing the twins, or a pregnancy journey as I went through that with Hayden. But I had community. I had people that I could rely on to help me through, because I wasn't able to go anywhere. I'm staying at home with my kids, and there's not an easy way to meet moms. There's not an easy way to meet people and meet friends when you're an adult. But I could become part of online communities. I could become part of groups of twin moms and get support through them. I could open a group and start a group and invite other moms who are going through something similar to come together and be a part of this and encourage each other to go through this journey and not have to be alone. And that's an amazing thing, right? Like, we all want to be a part of something. We all want to have people in our corner cheering us on. We all want to help people. We want to give them advice to say, hey, this is what worked for me. I see you struggling. This is what helped me. Maybe it can help you. And building that community and having that has been invaluable to being able to get through those long days of motherhood and make it through those 3 other habits and be accountable for those 3 other habits to make sure that they got done. So at the end of the day, every day, my job as a coach, my job requires me to really just be my best self. It requires me to make sure that I'm taking care of my health. But the kicker is to be confident enough to share that with other people. So taking care of yourself, putting your health and fitness, your nutrition as a priority in your life is number 1. I really think that is so important. Number 2 is your personal development, because I think mindset is a huge, huge thing. My health and nutrition hasn't changed much since I started as a coach, but the amount of personal development that I've done and the confidence that has grown from that has been all from personal development. Number 3 is being okay and being confident, sharing your journey with others at whatever capacity that might mean for you. It's going to vary person to person, but just finding people to share your journey with, and to share your successes and share your failures, and to share that, to encourage them that they're not alone. And then number 4 is being part of a community, being held accountable for those activities, and encouraging other people to stick with their plan, their nutrition, their workouts has really just changed my whole entire life. We're now living in Michigan, welcoming our 4th kid, and I'm not the same girl that started this business and enrolled as a coach 5 years ago. And I owe it all to these 4 healthy habits that I started implementing one by one over time as I could and as I grew as a person. So that's a little bit about my story. I hope something stuck out with you. I hope something resonated with you. But I'm going to turn this over to my coach, Heather. So if you're listening on Facebook, I'm going to switch the camera around so you can hear her story and how implementing some of these 4 same habits has also helped her on her journey in her health and fitness as a mom of 3 as well.
Hi guys. So I'm here to just share a little bit, just like Brittany did. Our stories have a lot of similarities, but they're different in a lot of ways. So hopefully this doesn't just sound too repetitive. So I started as a coach, it'll be 4 years ago this summer. And when I first started, I had just done my first round of 21 Day Fix. I had just started, and I had fallen in love. Like, I was crazy about this whole thing. But really what I wanted to do was pay for my shake. I had fallen in love with this product in my life. I knew I wanted to keep it, but it did not fit in our budget. Like, we didn't even have pennies to rub together to add to my budget. So it was I need to pay for this if I'm going to have it in my life. And I knew, like Brittany said, that being part of a community was really great, and I've always loved that. And I wanted to be able to provide the community that I had found in my first group with other people. I had sort of found this really exciting thing, and I wanted to share that. So that was sort of how I started as a coach. I didn't start with big business aspirations. I didn't start with huge monetary goals. I wanted to drink some more superfoods, and I wanted to help some people. And that sort of got me going and has had me doing what I'm doing. I didn't start out, fitness and nutrition have always been interesting to me. I worked out in college, and I considered myself a pretty healthy eater. I love vegetables. I love fresh fruit. I was, doing all the right things. I was choosing whole grain over white bread. I was choosing brown rice over white rice, all the things that you're sort of supposed to do. But I still struggle with my weight, and I still struggled with sort of my body confidence. And I signed up as a coach, or for my first challenge, when my middle son was, like 8 months old. So sort of in that postpartum, don't really know what you're doing with your body or what your body wants to be doing with itself sort of phase. And I think the biggest shift for me was, again, I knew what to do. I knew I needed to eat well. I knew I needed to exercise. But it just seemed so overwhelming all the time. And to have something that said, okay, not only are these the foods that you're already choosing and they're good, but you need to eat them in these ratios and in these proportions. And that when you do that, your cravings decrease and your body feels more fueled, and you can take on these workouts that you didn't think you could do. That was such a mindset shift for me. Like, you can't just make the healthy food choices. You have to make them in the right combinations. And here's how. Like, here is this tool that shows you how. And then adding in, like Brittany said, the personal development. That was something that I wasn't really doing. You do sort of think of it as self-help, and you're like, well, I don't need help. Like, I'm fine. I don't need self-help. But you do. Everyone does. Like, there's no one out there who doesn't need personal development. I went about it wrong for a while. I will admit to that. So I'm a learner. I like to know things. Like, I just like to know about all the things. And so when I decided to really start coaching as a business, I thought I need to learn about business. Like I need to learn about mentorship and, all of these things. And not that those things are bad, and I do need to know about them if I'm going to grow a business, but I just poured myself into business. And I was struggling to apply it, and I couldn't figure out why it wasn't, I'm seeing all these people talking about how personal development, it's changing their lives, and I'm just frustrated and like wanting to throw these books across the room and like, sorry, John Maxwell, I cannot listen to you anymore right now. And it was because that wasn't what I needed. I was doing the personal development that I thought I was supposed to be doing, not the personal development that I needed. So this last summer, after our big annual conference, I sort of had this like emotional shift about like, okay, I have some stuff that I've just sort of been ignoring, some heart stuff, some spirit stuff, some mental stuff that like I've just been ignoring and hoping it would go away as I got more confident, and it wasn't. And it was absolutely impacting my business and everything. And so I really started pouring myself into, okay, how do I tackle limiting beliefs? So how do I understand myself so that I can sort of weed through what I view as flaws, what are actually strengths? I'm a huge fan of like personality profiles and things like that. So what does it mean that I'm an extrovert? What does it mean that I have such and such number on this profile? And how can I shift it and change those? And sort of pouring into that and getting back into my Bible every day and getting back into things that were investing in myself was a huge change. And I've seen that was where things shifted. All of a sudden I was understanding why personal development was changing people's lives, because I was doing the right personal development. I'm very careful to look at, okay, what do I need right now? What do I need to be filling myself with right now? For a while it was personality stuff, and that has applied to my business in ways that I wasn't expecting. Last month it was a lot of parenting stuff. We had some stuff going on. We've got 3 kids, an 8-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 1.5-year-old. And we had some stuff with our 2 older ones that I was wanting to understand and dig more into. So that was what a lot of my time went to last month. This month I'm feeling like business, like, all right, it's time to go. Time to move forward with this. Now we get to learn this stuff. And John Maxwell and I are friends again, so it's okay. But it's because it's the right time. So finding that flexibility and letting myself fill myself with what I know that I need, not with what I think I need, has been huge. And like Brittany was talking about, sharing has been such a big part of that. Even considering myself a fairly confident person going into this, sharing is scary. Like, nobody wants to put before pictures on Facebook. Like, nobody willingly is like, oh yeah, look, here's where I am. But inevitably, every time I do that, someone says, because you did that, I felt brave. Or because you did that, I'm willing to be vulnerable. There's a great quote from a book, and I'm going to mess it up, but it's basically, when you're willing to be vulnerable, you become a safe place for other people to be vulnerable. And changing your life, even just working out every day and changing your nutrition, that takes a level of vulnerability. And if me putting my before picture out on Facebook shows someone that I'm a safe person to be vulnerable, and that vulnerability is okay and safe, then that means the world. Like, that's just, I don't have words for the feeling that is. And then from that has grown my own community. So I've got this fantastic team, and I've got this fantastic group of women that have come to me for support, and I get to see them sort of break free from the grossness that we have, especially as women, around food, and the guilt that comes with it, and I went on vacation and I gained 3 pounds, I'm a horrible person. Like, somehow we equate our food choices and our weight to our value as human beings, and that's awful. Like, why do we do that? And so I get a chance to show women that it's not the ways that you failed, it's the ways that you succeeded. It's the fact that you drank more water today, and that's a win. It's the fact that you made a healthier choice today, and that's a win. It's the fact that you went on vacation and you enjoyed yourself, and you don't feel like you need to beat yourself up in the gym because of it. Like, food is just food, and it can work to our benefit, and it can maybe not be as great as we want it to be, but it doesn't define you as a person. And I had no idea that I was passionate about teaching people that food doesn't define you as a person until I learned that food doesn't define me as a person. And I had to do that. And now I get to do that for other people. And that's just like the coolest thing I've ever done in my life. I don't know. This is never anything. If you had told me 8 years ago or back in college, they're like, oh yeah, you should pay more attention in kinesiology class because you're going to be a fitness coach in 10 years. I'd be like, okay. But it's one of my favorite jobs that I've ever had. It's one of the best things that I get to do is, teach women that their value is separate from their plate. And that's a hard lesson for a lot of women to learn. And it's my favorite. So I don't even know how to wrap this up because I could just keep going. There's so many things, but it really does come down to these 4 habits. We can make it more complicated. We can, throw social media and like all of this stuff, but it really is the same thing I tell my challengers. Just keep it simple. Eat good food. Fill yourself with good things. Be in community with people and share it. Like, it doesn't have to be harder than that. And you get to do some really great things. So that's me. Bye, guys.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. See, it's not just me that has seen growth in themselves and confidence in finding your flaws and figuring out how to grow strength from them and grow as a person. And kind of going back to that quote that I shared with you earlier about, a network marketing company gets a bad rap, but it's really just about, are you willing to grow yourself? Are you willing to get out of your comfort zone? Are you willing to invest in personal development to be your best self? And when I finally realized that that's what I was doing every day, was waking up and learning how to be my best self, and what habits and beliefs that I had about myself that I needed to break that were holding me back from living this grand life that I know God had for me, and then being able to share that to help other women who were going through the same thing. And it does 2 things. It helps me because now I'm implementing what I'm learning, and it gives me the confidence to go out there and do it. But 2, I get to help them break that, and I get to help them wherever they are. And so some of you might be sitting here going, okay, so what does this matter? What does coaching do? And it's, through these 4 habits, through implementing these 4 habits, and then learning how to share them for business purposes or to just be a better person, we've been able to financially change our family's life. We're sitting in a house today because of this opportunity, stress-free. Even I just can't put into words the blessing that this has provided and peace of mind for our family, with being able to focus on myself, share the journey with others, invite them to come along and to work on themselves, whether that is as a lifetime customer with me and a customer client with our team or a coach on our team, or jumping in and focusing on this business and paying it forward yourself. Either way, there is so much growth and opportunity that comes with it. And it truly is a gift. I hope something resonated with you. Maybe you're sitting there and you're thinking, I'd really like to be a coach, but I don't know if I'm really ready to do a business. That's okay. We walk you through that. And, that's another thing that's been really cool, is that this business is all at your pace. This is an opportunity that some people want to come in and go all in, and they want to earn millions, and they want to be top of the company. And there's other people that come in and just say, you know what, I want to work on myself for the next year, and I want to better myself, and I want to learn more about me. But as I'm doing that, I want to take a few people on that journey with me, and I want to help them. And I want to earn an extra $100 or $200 to help pay for swimming lessons or hockey skates or gymnastics or, groceries, or maybe you're saving up for a vacation. Everyone's goals and reasons for starting this business are different. And at the pace that you want to build your business is totally up to you. And we run with you. We walk with you. We jog with you. That's the part of the community that's awesome, is that this is all done on your time, on your pace, to your goals, to fit your family's needs. I'll close this up with, we go through seasons of life. There are seasons of life when life is really hard and there's a lot of change going on. I'm just coming out of one and going into another one. But, my family and I just packed up and moved from Florida, and we packed up 3 kids. We packed up our house of 7 years, and we went through a season. And I was able to look at my team and at my clients and at my mentor and say, hey, this is the season that I'm in for the next 6 weeks. This is what I'm able to give energy-wise and time-wise and resource-wise. This is where I'm at. So can you guys meet me here? And once we got settled, everyone was great. Once me, the kids, and Matt got settled in this house, I looked at them all and I said, okay, I have 12 weeks before this baby comes. I'm ready to hustle. I am in a season where I can give more. I can do more. I can stay up till 10 p.m. and be okay. I'm not packing a house or unpacking a house. I'm going to sneeze. I'm in a season where I can hustle and I can give a little bit more. And come April, when we welcome this next baby, I'm going to be in a season where my time and my energy is going to shift a little bit. But I have community, I have support, I have consistency of these habits that when life hits and life gets busy, I can adjust accordingly. And then when life slows back down and I'm able to give a little bit more, I'm able to adjust accordingly again. And I think that is one of the most beautiful things, not only in running my business, but my health and fitness, is that I've learned that things are not all or nothing. Things do not have a time period. Health and fitness is not a time. There's no end. It's a constant battle of, give and take. And there's going to be seasons where you're 100% on your nutrition. You're 100%, you don't miss a workout. And then there's seasons where you might miss a workout and you might have a weekend where you have donuts and cereal or cinnamon rolls, and that's the weekend, because that's what I'm coming off of. And that's okay. And that's okay, because there's going to be times like that. But the key is to learn that doesn't define your journey. It doesn't define, like Heather was talking about, your worth. It's knowing that if those weekends happen, but on Monday morning, I'm back to my routine because I'm back and it's good and I can. And I allowed myself that time to do what I needed to do. So if you're sitting there going, life's too busy, or I have this going on, or I have that going on, maybe you're in a season where it's not right now. And that's okay. Because in a month, you might feel different when life slows down, when the kids aren't sick, and the flu's not going around, or whatever isn't happening. And you have more time to focus on you and your passions and your desires and goals and dreams. And you even have time to think about those things. And that's the beauty of this. That's the beauty of the community, is that we're going to run with you. We're going to walk with you. We're going to jog with you, but we're going to be with you and cheer you on every step of the way and encourage you and help you, navigate this journey of health and fitness and just being the best version of you through all sorts of life happenings and what life throws at you. So I just want to say thank you all for listening. There's a ton of you hopping on Facebook, which was really cool to see. So I really appreciate those of you who took the time to listen to Heather and I share our journeys, our passions, why we do what we do. And hopefully you got a little sense of the excitement and passion that we have for what we do. And we would love to see you on our team as a challenger, as a client, as a friend, or as a coach, and someone who might want to start their own little health and fitness business to help their family and to help you be your best self and just to pay that forward to more people. So thank you all for listening. We hope to see you next month on our next call, and we will all see you later. Bye, guys.